Greetings. Welcome to our short tutorials on how to use the iPad. Many of you have probably used an iPad before in your teaching, and therefore this tutorial is not necessary. And if that's the case, please move along and make use of this time, because I know that we're all going to be pressed for time in order to get ready for the start of the school year. But for those of you that are new to iPad, I have created 2 videos to help you walk through how to really make the iPad into a useful tool that will help you through these difficult times. So in this first video, this beginner's video, I'm really going to show you how to have the iPad serve as a stand-in for the students that are learning at home virtually, and how to sign in with Google Meet, and essentially how to set the iPad up as a video camera and microphone so that the kids that are at home will see you through the iPad. So I'm going to show you how to do that, and then after that you can click, I'll put a link to the more advanced video if you are interested in using the iPad beyond a video camera, maybe to use as like a digital whiteboard or even as a presentation device. I actually use the iPad in a multitude of ways in my classroom, but if you're interested in any of that, I'm going to encourage you to go to another video that I have linked at the end of this one. So with that said, let's just get started and jump right into it.
All right, so as I just said, I'm breaking this up into 2 parts, and this is the beginners section. So you'll notice that in order to showcase how you're going to use the iPad as a video camera, I'm going to show you it with Google Meet. Now, my big recommendation is you'll notice that when I went to meet.google.com, you'll notice that I already have 2 sessions in there that I can just click on. I don't have to go to this join or start meeting and put in a code, which is something that a lot of us probably have a lot of experience with from the spring. So before we jump into the actual iPad portion, I did want to start with just a helpful tip, because I don't know that if everyone knows this or not, but you can schedule all your classes in advance so that your students as well don't have to sign into a class by typing in a code. And so I just want to show that. So I actually did this already for one of my classes. You can actually see that if I go to September here, I created my period 1 Google Meet calendar invite. And if I click on that invite, you'll notice that it does have a Google Meet thing already set up, so that once September 1st rolls around and I go to meet.google.com, my entire, or actually right now, just my period 1 though will show up for the correct time. And it will also show up for my students, since this calendar was actually created by Google Classroom when I created the class. So I'm going to show you how I did this. I'm just going to shut these off, and I'm going to set up my period 3 class for you. So period 3, I teach food and exercise science. Now I want it to only show me that class. I'm going to hide the other ones, display only. And then I'm going to go up to September 1st, and I'm just going to figure out when period 3 runs. So I actually have this this calendar that Michelle had shared with all of us that tells me that period 3 runs from 10:02 to 10:47. So I'm going to just drag that off the screen here. So period 3, 02. 10:47. There we go. I type the time in up there because it saves me time later on. And then I go back and I change it. So that's another trick, by the way. If you type the time in your title, Google will automatically put it for the time, and then I just delete it. And then I actually type in the name of the class. So food and exercise science. Just making sure. Oh, just deleted it, of course. So this class, obviously that's AM. This class is going to repeat as well, so I'm going to put that in there. And I always go to a custom repeat, and this class runs pretty much Monday through Friday, but the kids are always off on Wednesdays. However, since they have to check in for attendance, I'm going to keep that up there, but the time is going to be different. So I'm actually going to set Wednesdays up separately later on, since the time that we meet on Wednesday, I have to go in and individually change every single one of those days. So I'm going to go back in on the early dismissal days and create a new calendar invitation for this period, just for those Wednesdays because of the early dismissals. So I'm going to say that it's going to end on the last day of the term, which is, go back here, November 6th. All right, and then that's going to repeat weekly. All right, so I'm just going to click done. And then I'm going to add the Google Meet video conferencing here. And then if you want, you could always add your room for the kids that meet with you in person. I don't know why it's not letting me do that. Oh, here we go, add location. If you add a room, it's going to add one that's already been created, like the library or the cafeteria or whatever. So I'm just going to click save, and you'll notice that this class then populates throughout the whole calendar. That's actually how I created these. So right now, you'll notice it says, excuse me, that we should be in the iPad beginner demo. I haven't started it yet because I just wanted to show you how to set that up. But this is my recommendation to save yourself a whole load of time throughout the year. I mean, we're already gonna, or at least the first term when we're taking attendance both for kids in person, but then also virtual. Because I just think that's gonna be really time consuming, right? We're gonna have to be trying to identify all the kids. We don't wanna be wasting time at the beginning of every class, having kids try to figure out what the class code is. So my plan is to create all of my periods so that Google Meet, every day that I log into Google Meet, all of my periods are just there. And once class starts, I just click on the event or the meeting, the class, so to speak, that we're currently in. So, all right. So I'm just going to demo then how you're going to use the iPad now as a video camera. So I'm going to log into Google Meet just as I would if I was starting the class as a teacher. So again, I click on, let's say this is period 1. I'm going to click join now. I'm actually going to shut the webcam off because otherwise we have 2 webcams kind of pulling and it's a little strange. So you can kind of look at me down here and down here in the corner. But ordinarily, I wouldn't probably be showing my desktop background anyway, unless I'm doing a presentation or whatnot. But if you actually want the kids to see you, that's what the iPad is going to be for. And you're going to use the iPad microphone too, since the iPad will be close to you on a tripod for this purpose. So I'm actually going to record what's on my iPad screen so you can see how I'm going to be doing this. Here we go. So I'm just going to record this. All right, so my dog is just sleeping in the room here. That's pretty hilarious. So on my iPad then, there is a Google Meet app, which I have installed. And actually, I'm going to leave it up here just so you can see me pointing to stuff. So right down here, you can see the Google Meet app. If I click on the Google Meet app, it's going to be very similar. Since I'm already logged in, or since I already created the event, again, the iPad demo will populate right on the iPad. I don't have to type in any code and waste any time. So I'm just going to click join. And I muted the microphone on my iPad so we don't have a lot of feedback here. And then if I go up here to people, you'll notice that I'm actually in here twice. Now, you shouldn't have this confusion because Diana told me that she's going to set the iPad accounts up to say iPad and then your room number. So it won't say, Nicholas Rankin 2 separate times. Although even if you do have that confusion, for you, it's not that bad because the one that says in parentheses you is always going to be referring to your PC, the actual computer that you're on. The other one is going to be the iPad. But the kids, on the other hand, they won't see that. They won't see, Mr. Rankin, you, Mr. Rankin, not without a parentheses. They're just going to see your name twice. So to make that less confusing, like I said, Diana and the tech staff is going to actually set it up so that one of them specifically says iPad and that kids will know what to do. And the reason that's important is because they're going to need to find that iPad, which is going to be this one, and they're going to have to pin it, right? Once they pin it, they're going to see what the iPad sees. So now the iPad is actually serving as the video camera that we want it to serve as. What's really great about this is, again, since your iPad is going to be so much closer to you, you'll be relying on the video feed from your iPad and on the microphone feed. Now, one thing to keep in mind is I'm looking directly at the screen of the iPad, and you'll notice that on iPads, since cameras are in portrait view, you really have to be looking off to the left or off to the right, depending on how your camera is oriented on your iPad. Or for the kids, it will always look like you're not looking at them. I wish that was something that Apple fixed, like they put it above the screen, just like a computer, but that's not something that they have fixed right now. So yeah, this is just the beginner guide to how to set up the iPad. Really, really simple. You're just gonna log in to Google Meet on your computer first, then you're gonna find the Google Meet app on your iPad, log in, and then make sure that kids pin the iPad. And now they're in your room. They'll get the audio, they'll get the video, they're having discussions. It's almost like they're sitting there right in front of you, except all the kids that are virtual are sitting in the exact same spot. So that's part one of how to use the iPad. If you have any questions, please let me know. But otherwise, remember, you can please click the link I'm going to go here. Click the link up in that corner. Actually, it's mirrored. So click the link up in that corner of the screen, and it'll bring you to the more advanced video. If you'd like to know how to use the iPad for something a bit more advanced, we're going to run through that right now. Thanks so much.